it's Stephanie Liu, and welcome to a new episode of Digital Confetti. Yes! So come on through, say what's up, and Happy New Year, everyone. We're going to be talking about lead magnets today, how you could repurpose your live streams into lead magnets. Yes! I'm going to show you how you can easily create ebooks and so much more. So come on in when you're ready. Would love to see you here. Hi! Come on in. Happy New Year! It's Digital Confetti, kicking off your Friday with share-worthy strategies to sprinkle your content all across the internet, just like digital confetti. Come in. All right, we're about to get started. Let's have some fun today. Go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I'm here from beautiful, sunny San Diego, and shout out to the Joe Floyd for tuning in. Thank you so much, Joe. So happy to have you here. So hey, listen, we have a fantastic show for you today, because today we're going to be talking about how you can turn your live stream into a lead magnet. Yes. So for everyone that's thinking about, well, how do I take all of this personal knowledge, everything that I've accumulated over time, and turn it into income, right? How can I take everything that I've learned so far that I share on my live streams, on my videos, and turn it into something that my clients will find a lot of value from? And so that's exactly what we're going to talk about. But before we do that, I want to give a quick shout out to Elizabeth Agnew. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So happy to have you here. Shout out to Joshua Jean from cold Vancouver, Washington. Oh my goodness. Yes, it's beautiful sunny San Diego here, but I do hope that you are staying cozy here in 2021. All right, everyone. So I wanted to give you a quick recap on what we're talking about today. Today, we're talking about how you could take your live streams, your videos, your blog posts, your podcast, all the things, and turn them into a lead magnet. Now, if you don't know what a lead magnet is something that you could give to your customers, to your viewers, to your clients to draw them in and leverage to build your email list, to get more prospects, to generate awareness about what your business, your product, or your service has to offer. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today in today's episode of Digital Confetti. Happy New Year, Javier. So happy to have you here. So, if this is your first time tuning in, this is Digital Confetti, and I am your host, Stephanie Liu. And my purpose is to share with you strategies that you could do to repurpose your content and sprinkle it all across the internet. That way people find out how amazing you are. Yes, you. And it's 2021. This is going to be your year as far as like, you know what? I want to make my brand top of mind and tip of tongue. So this is the episode for you. So before we get started, let's talk about why you would want to have a lead magnet. Here's an example, okay? Let's head on over to lightscameralive.com. This is actually my website. If you notice here on my website, I have pretty much a call to action. It says, are you tired of being the best kept secret in town or online? And what happens here is that the first time people log on to my website, the first time that they ever discover me, they have an opportunity to grab and get their hands on a Facebook workbook to really, really help them figure out how they want to plan and launch their own show. Because in reality, when it comes to live streaming, it's not only about the gear, the lights, the cameras, the mics, but it's also about how to get the gear working up here. How do you get your viewers to show up live and engaged? And so that's exactly what they get. So when they head on over to the website, that gives them an opportunity to plug in their email address, and then from there, they'll get the workbook for free. So that's a classic example of what a lead magnet is. And if you notice here on the website, I have tons and tons of content. We have episode recaps. We have recaps of Digital Confetti. We have recaps of Lights Camera Live. So much content that actually lives here on the website. But what's nice about that is that I could take all of this content, right? All of this content and turn it into an ebook. And Javier, even if you wanted to take the videos on your YouTube channel, turn it into an ebook, upload it over to Amazon and make some passive income, you can absolutely do that. Just think of all the possibilities of what you can do when you generate your own lead magnet. So Javier, this is where you definitely want to start taking notes. So I'm going to show you the shortcut that my team and I are doing to create and publish more content in 2021. So the first thing that I want to share with you, I'm going to move me over here. I'm going to show you this amazing website that I've discovered, and it's called designer.io. And it's a fantastic way where you can actually create ebooks and lead magnets. That way you can reach more people. Think about this. When we first started talking about Digital Confetti, right? When we first started the very first episode of Digital Confetti, we said, take your live stream and put it into a program called Descript. Now, if you don't remember, Descript is one of the best ways for you to go ahead and transcribe your content and repurpose it into smaller chunks of videos, right? With overlays, and you could add your audiograms and so many things, right? Think about this now. So Henrik, if you were to take that content, that transcription, and then leverage it into a program such as designer.io, you could turn your videos into ebooks. So there's so much possibilities that you can do here. It could be your blog post, your podcast, your Rome research, your videos, all of the things. And yes, we are blessed. We are so blessed because look who just came into the house. I am super duper excited. I need to give this to you real quick. 1 second. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Happy New Year. So happy to have you here. All right. So let me go ahead and switch this back and go back over to Google Chrome. Okay. Perfect. So this is what we're talking about. We're talking about taking that video content that you've worked so hard to create that run of show. Now you're going to turn it into something that has thud value. This is something that you could send out to clients. These are things that you could put on your website that you can sell. Like let's say $9.99, $19.99, however which way that you want to do it. This becomes a smart passive income for you. Okay? So we've talked about how you transcribe things in Descript. Then comes the next step, which is Designer. So you can create fresh new content. You could take a podcast that you're doing, right? You could take a blog post. You could take maybe something that I've actually done before is that my presentations that I would do at VidCon or Social Media Marketing World, all of the keynote presentations, if I wanted to turn it into an ebook, I absolutely can. So I want the wheels up here to start churning and thinking about what are the possibilities, because you could easily take this content and start sprinkling it across the internet. So this works for anyone that are content marketers, course creators, ebooks, coaches, podcasters, so many applications. And what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you a behind the scenes of how this actually works. So any questions that you have, you're already doing it. Go ahead and type it in the comments. I'll be sure to go ahead and answer them for you, okay? So here's how it works. You choose your source. It could be content that you already have on your website. Again, on Lights Camera Live, I have plenty of content. In fact, last year, Ecamm Live and I had hosted the Leap into Live Streaming Bootcamp, which had over 30 plus speakers. They were dropping gems left and right about how you can level up your live stream, right? And all of that currently only lives on a YouTube playlist. But when you keep in mind about all the different learning strategies that people have, not everyone is going to watch a video. Not everyone has time to watch a video. So when you turn it into a blog post, that's an opportunity for them to skim through the headlines, get the cliff notes, right? But then there are those kinesthetic learners where they just want to print something out and have that thud value just sitting on their desk. And now imagine if your ebook was sitting on your potential client's desk with your name, right? It goes, this book by Matthias Schwem. Yes, absolutely brilliant. And as far as your question goes is, will there be a replay? Absolutely. Once this broadcast is over, you could always go back and listen to the very beginning. That way you could go ahead and take your notes. But I will tell you this, every single episode of Digital Confetti is recapped, right? Is recapped, turned into a guide that again you can use, and that's where it lives over here on Lights Camera Live. You're getting it, right? Awesome. Okay, so let's go back over here. Let me tell you a little bit more about Designer. So you could choose where the source is coming from, and then here's the fun part, is that you could review which sections you want in your ebook or in your lead magnet. So let's talk about if you have affiliate links. You want to have a call to action where people subscribe to your newsletter or subscribe to your YouTube channel. You could do so much. So think of like the content blocks that you would want to have in your content. You could even have it link to videos that you would want them to pay attention to. Maybe like in your ebook, it's just a high level summary, right? Like the cliff notes. But if they want like the really, really good details, then you could have like a screen grab of your actual thumbnail image from your YouTube video and put it right in there. Amazing. Okay. Here's the other fun part is that you could choose a template, and we'll go through this. I'm going to show you all of the different templates that they have under the Pro plan, okay? Because it's going to make designing your ebook, your lead magnet, easy. I'm talking about really easy. Then you could tweak and tune. You want to fine tune this, right? Your brand colors, your fonts, all the things, and you absolutely can. Then you're going to publish this. You could publish it into a PDF, into a flippable PDF, right? A GIF. You can even have it already formatted for Amazon, so that way when you're done with it, it goes directly up into the cloud, and then you could start selling this on one of the world's biggest e-commerce platforms. So having said that, let's get started, because at this point, I'm hoping that you have already taken your notes. And again, if you're tuning in, let me know where you're tuning in from. We're going live on multiple platforms, so I'm hoping that we're getting tons of comments across all of the channels. So thank you, Matthias, Javier, Dr. Elo. I hope I'm saying that right. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to show you behind the scenes of how it looks like for my dashboard, okay? So this is really where you're going to start. So I'm going to move this over here on my screen. You're going to start a new project, okay? You're going to click on a new project and look at all the different ways that you could import content in here. So this is what I meant. You could import content from a blog post or a URL, which I'll show you today. You could import from a Word doc. If that's like your zone of genius and it's already formatted over there, then you could go ahead and import that as well. Just upload it. You could import from a Google Doc. So for those of you that you have VAs, executive assistants, or people contributing to content via Google Docs, you could do that as well. Or if you just want to start from a template, yeah, go for it. Have fun, right? Other things that you can do is you could do PDF to flipbook. Maybe you have an existing PDF and you want to turn it into a flipbook. P.S. by the way, this is absolutely amazing if you have a sales page, right? Because not only is it just like a 3D image of your product, of your ebook, but now it's flippable. And they have this sense of like, oh my goodness, I just saw an amazing graphic strategy, framework, blueprint in this book that I need to have, right? Shout out to Frank who's tuning in from LA. I'm from beautiful sunny San Diego, so West Coast in the house. Love it. All right, here's other things that you can do. Import from PDF, start from scratch, or import from Facebook page. How many of you are creating content that's getting a lot of viral sharing, comments, and engagement on Facebook? This is an opportunity. Oh, and I have to pause real quick because Dr. Elo just said, you said my name right. Thank you. I always kind of hesitated on that because I was like, I hope I'm saying it right. So thank you. And yes, Video Script Maker. That's money right there. If you have any questions, go ahead and let me know. Shout out to Dean, who is also here. All right, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that I want to show you is how to import from a blog post, right? Or a URL. So look how easy this is. So in my most recent, let's go to resources. Because what I did is that I took the sessions from Leap into live streaming, right? And we started to transcribe them. And we made them into articles. And so here's something that you can do. Where's the one that I did recently? Here's the one that I'm really excited about, which is Facebook Live Shopping, how to easily sell online. I don't know if you guys know this, but on Facebook, you could actually sell during a live show, having an external link that directly drives people over to a shopping cart, to a landing page, and they could purchase within your actual live stream. I'm telling you, there's so much in this. And shout out to Wayne who is tuning in. Yes, Happy New Year, fam. Okay, so check this out. This is what you're gonna do. First, we're gonna give some love to Wayne because I love it when you show up. So here's what happens. We're gonna take this URL. We're gonna go back over to Designer, okay? We're gonna copy and paste this in here. Now what's going to happen is that it's going to fetch all of that content, right? Matthias, I've had a lot of coworkers that used to be from Germany, so thank you. I didn't catch the last part though, because that's super long, but hey, I tried. All right, so now, if you notice, the content has already been fetched from the website. Here comes the magic, friends. Now we're going to click on next. Okay, we're going to click on next. Look at all these different templates that I can use to now create an ebook, right? So let's say, because this is about Facebook live shopping, how you could easily sell in your live stream. Let's see if they have something about video. Boom, here it is, already done, okay? Already done. So I've already used this balloon right here for live streaming. Let's do scripted. So I'm just gonna choose the template. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens next. Do you see this? My ebook has already been created. Look at that. If I were to go ahead and scroll to the very top page, notice how this right here, my titles are so big at the moment. So let me go ahead and just change it. I could just go over here and let's make it 90. Okay, let's actually make that 50. Let's make it reasonable, right? What I could do now is go back over here into the content itself. And we're just gonna delete some of this because we don't need the episode number. If I'm going to promote this, right? If I'm going to promote this, then there's some things that I don't need in there. So let's do that. Let me go ahead and make this a little bit bigger for you. Okay, do this over here. And then I'm just gonna move this content block a little bit lower. There you go. So now you can see it. Javier says, I could definitely learn from you. Yes, Javier, this is the year for learning. I'm showing you new things. So notice here on the right-hand side, there's this amazing opportunity to see all of the different pages that you have. So let me actually move my screen over here. I'll move me over here. Is that okay? Whatever, we'll just put that right there. Okay, so then on my right-hand side, what you're seeing is all the different pages. This single blog post about how to do Facebook live shopping, look at this. It is a 25-page document. You print it out, maybe front and back, or you put it in a glossy brochure, even if you wanted to, right? It's already there, right? Anthony is already saying that Designer is so good and it's a great tool. Yeah, Anthony, I'm actually surprised that most people aren't doing this, but that's okay because you don't know what you don't know. And that's why you need to tune in to the show, right? So lightscamera.live/DC to get Digital Confetti on your calendar every single time that we go live. So what I already showed you, for those of you that are just jumping in, because I'm noticing that our viewership just like skyrocketed. We're talking about how to take your live stream and turn it into a lead magnet. So what I just did is that I took an existing blog post that I already had published, imported it into Designer, and now I'm designing the actual ebook, right? This ebook can then live on my website. As you hit the website, it's the first thing that you get. You want to learn about how to make extra income from live streaming? Boom, let's talk about Facebook live shopping. And we go through all the steps of how to set up your store, how to make sure that your actual product shows up on there, or if your product hasn't already showed up, right, in the e-commerce show and you're just thinking on the fly, right, you could add an external link on there. It's all in here. It's all in here. So what I'm saying here is you have the opportunity to go in here and type whatever it is that you want. So Anthony, you are amazing. Right? You could do that. Of course. When you show up, you get some love. Over here, you want to go ahead and put in your author name. So obviously for me, if you're meeting me for the very first time, my name is Stephanie Liu. I'm the host of Digital Confetti. So having said that, you could also move these content blocks to where you want them to be. So maybe I don't want it to be at the very bottom, but like right there. Okay? Good. So at the very top, you're going to have your heading. Whether or not you want to keep an episode number, if that's how you structure your show, you absolutely can. In my case, I would probably clean this up and just take this part out, okay? Notice Notice that whenever I tap into a content block, right, I have an opportunity to change the font. This is what I was talking about earlier, where you could brand your ebook to the way that you want it to be. There's other things in here that worked on the actual blog itself, but wouldn't work necessarily for an ebook. So for example, it says, click the button below to be reminded when Lights Camera Live is on air. For an ebook, I would probably turn this into a graphic, maybe like a button that they could push, right? And then that would be helpful. And then everything else in here is actually pulled from the blog post. In fact, if you wanted to see the original blog post, this is how it looks like. In the original blog post, we have the entire video, the video that walks you through how to do Facebook Live shopping. Then we have a call to action button where you can always add Lights Camera Live to your calendar. Then we get into the content. Notice how in the body of the content, I break out the content chunks by adding images or click to tweets, all of the above. And so you're going to put this all in here. You say, does live shopping work, etc., and so on. Notice I also even have a table of contents. And the reason for that is because this is a very, very long blog post. This is what we call in social media marketing as pillar content. This is like the big, big, big piece of content that's out there. Okay, so there you go. Then it's all about setting up the Facebook Live shopping. So if I go back over here into Designer, all of this content is here. All of this is all here. And if I wanted to, I could change things. This table of contents, in fact, what I can do is over here on the left-hand side, where there's templates, you could change. You could actually go ahead and change the cover if you wanted to, but there's other things that you could do on here. So let's see here. If I wanted to add, right? If I wanted to add an additional cover page, a back page, a table of contents, right? Then I could go ahead and do that. Let's say I'm just going to add this in right now. It's going to mess up the flow just a little bit, but I want your ideas to start thinking about this. P.S. by the way, if you absolutely love this, show me some love, because right now I'm only seeing the YouTube comments. So I may be missing out on the Facebook fam and the LinkedIn crew. So forgive me if that's not working right now. So let's insert the table of contents. Look how that arrow just points on over, and it's going to add that in here. So we'll give that a hot second or two to think about that. Wait for that to show up. Actually, I think this is what it meant. If I were to drag this over, let's go. You can simply drag this element into your project. So I'm going to drag this over. And now I could choose the format of the table of contents. So how would I want it to look like? Honestly, I like this one. Okay, and so here it is. It has already taken the headers that were in the blog post, and now I already have a table of contents. This means that my readers, that my clients, my viewers, they could all go in here, just take a look at the table of contents and be like, hey, I need to jump over to page 5 and figure out how to set up this Facebook Live shopping, right? Oh, Don, thank you so much for commenting. I was wondering if the Facebook crew was able to see this. So the fact that you're here is money. Thank you. Angie says, it's like magic. It is. Right, Angie? Isn't that so cool? So again, I just took that content block and I just dragged it over. This is very different from what you usually see when you're scrolling through like Facebook and there's like these ads of like, hey, here's an ebook template in Canva that you can use. You're still going to have to build it out. You're still going to have to import the content in there one by one. What I just showed you is that I pretty much just took the link from a blog post, imported it into Designer, and now I'm doing the final touches of just cleaning up the ebook, of just cleaning it up. P.S. by the way, if you have any questions now that I know that comments are coming in, go ahead and ask them. I would love to engage with you and really help you think about repurposing your content, right? Because so much of our content sometimes is hidden on our websites. Sometimes it might not be SEO optimized, but when you do this, when you create it into a lead magnet where people can instantly download it by like clicking on a link in your bio, right? Then that's awesome. Tiffany is asking, hey, babe, what's the name of this program, right? And the program is called Designer.io. So here's a quick, for those of you that are just jumping in, it's called Designer, DESIGNRR.io, okay? .io. And what I was saying earlier is that you could take any of your content, your podcast, your audiograms, all the things, and turn it into an ebook. So this is what we've done so far. Notice that we've already created the table of contents, and it was just dragging it over. Now remember when I was telling you about this right here? On the actual original blog post, at the very top, I have a call to action where it says click the button below to remind you when Lights Camera Live is on air. If I wanted to have that same button appear, right, then this is what we're going to do. We're going to do an inline CTA. CTA, for those of you who don't know, CTA stands for call to action. So now we're just going to take this and drag it over. Let's put it at the top. Inline CTA, and then you could go ahead and type whatever it is that you want in there. Notice that it's like a different kind of box. For me personally, I would probably try to create like an image, right? Because you could always drag and drop an image in here. So that's an inline CTA. You could do a call to action. This is a call to action. Look how it just makes it bigger. So let's say one of your pages in your book is going to drive to a course that you have, Tiffany, right? Think about that. Maybe your ebook is like, hey, here are like 101 headlines that you could use for your next email that will convert your audience, okay? And P.S., by the way, if you're interested in my copywriting course, boom, here it is, right? Now you have a section where you can have this call to action and you already have the button in here. Simple, easy. If you guys are loving this, let me know, because I want to know that I'm helping you out and helping you discover new ways to repurpose your content, okay? Let's get through this. All right, so we're going through the rest of the document. We've talked about, okay, it's pulling in the content. You have your header, you have your footer, right? You have your headlines. You could change the content any which way that you want. This table of contents, since I already had it in the beginning, look how easy it is for me just to get rid of it. I could have a VA on Upwork or any of those, Fiverr. Just come in here and just change this content, okay? So I could just take this whole entire content block, boom, done. Wayne Roberts is saying, I didn't know it was so easy. It is ridiculously easy, isn't it? Yeah. So this goes through it. Again, it's also taking the images that I already had in the original blog post and moving it over. So I don't have to like muddle around with like, oh, where did I save the original file? Now I have to put it over here. It's already in here. It's already in here. Okay. So we talk about like all the different ways that you could go live. And yeah, it's a 25-page document at this point. Now, if you want to jump around, let's say this one right here. This was actually taking in an image of a Pinterest pin in the actual post. Just go ahead and delete the whole entire page. I don't need this, right? Robin is saying, I've got to watch this later from beginning to end. This is awesome. Yeah, Robin, come through. Come through, because every single episode of Digital Confetti, as I was saying earlier, we always recap it into a blog post. And when we transcribe it into a blog post, guess what? There's going to be an ebook for it too. So this is to help all of your customers, your clients that have different learning styles, right? So we've seen a few people already pop on like, oh, I got to catch the replay. I got to catch the replay. You are repurposing your content to invite those viewers, those customers, those clients to come back and engage with you. And when you have something like this, like let's say maybe they just want to print out and have on their desk, that's money. Because they're going to look at them like, I still got to check out what Robin's doing. Hey, I still got to check out what Tiffany's working on, right? So you have all that. And then, as I mentioned before, the very last page of the book, if you wanted to, it could be more about you. It could be your bio, your programs, your courses, maybe even a link on how to subscribe to your Patreon, your Facebook group, your Clubhouse, LinkedIn, whatever it is going to be that you want to do there. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments now, because I want to know that you're going to take action on this, okay? So let's take a look at other things that we could add in here. So I'm looking at the left-hand side. And so we talked about importing additional content. Maybe you have another blog post, right? It's like, hey, you know what? I love the paragraph from this. I just want to drop that in there. You could go ahead and do that. Other things that you could do is you could change the typography. You could change if there's labels, if there's links, all the things. Let me make sure I got this. There you go. You could have definitions, dividers, marked text, an ordered list, tables if you want to. I find that that is always very helpful for our visual learners. I'm trying to figure out why this is being funky. There you go. All right. Then I'm going to move you over here. So media. Think about all the different media that you can add in here. You could add images. You could add the still images of your thumbnails for your YouTube videos. Think about that. Okay, and then you have your layout. The sidebar's not liking me today. Okay, so that's all of the fun things to do. The other nice thing about this is that if you are going to share this, right? If you want to share this with your VA, then this is an opportunity for you to go back and take a look at the revisions. Maybe they accidentally took a block out of the ebook that you wish was still there. Well, over here on the left-hand side, you can go ahead and click on this little time machine and you can see what's already saved on the server. Okay, so you could go back and preview. So you can see that this has automatically been saving the content since I've been building it out. Okay, you could also resize the content. So whether or not you want it to be an A4, A5, 6 by, whatever it is that you want to do, you absolutely can. You could change the functionality for the content boxes, auto saving, page numbering, so many different things that you would love, 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 love to do in a Word doc or in Pages. Fun, right? So many of you are thinking right now like, oh my goodness, think of all the possibilities. Think of like, let's say your channel, your video channel, and you have like the top 5 best performing videos of 2020, and you want to recap that. Hey, here are like the top 5 tips from 2020 that will move into 2021. Think about that. That's an opportunity for you to repurpose that content. Great. So let me go ahead and go back because I want to show you like a finished product that I actually already have for Lights Camera Live and for Digital Confetti. So for example, how to live stream to a Facebook event. This is something that I've actually already created. My team has already jumped in, made the changes that they needed to change in there. So let me move a couple of my things and we're going to just tap right into it. You can see that it's already done. It's already done at this point. So there's the cover, has my name, has the title, and all the things that I want. So if I wanted to, I could actually put this on lightscameralive.com with the cover image that says, hey, you want to learn this? Download it now. Download it now. Because who wouldn't want to learn how to live stream to a Facebook event? Did you actually know that you could host a paid Facebook event and live stream to it? That's an additional way for you to go ahead and make income. Okay. All right, so going back over here, other fun things that you could do with the content that you've actually already created is let's make a 3D cover generator. How do I want this to look like? Because if you're working on a sales page or if you're working in your email newsletter and you want to drive people to your course, right? Or you want to drive people to your next workshop, whatever it is that you want to do, you have all these different things that you can do. So let's go ahead and just preview this. Give it a hot second or two. And P.S. by the way, if you're tuning in, again, let me know if you have any questions. Angie, Robin, wherever you are. Look, it's already done. This is a cover back, an iPad, and an iPhone. This didn't require me having to go into another app, right? I didn't have to knock out the background or any of that stuff. It already mocked it up for me. And then when I'm ready, I could go ahead and save this image. If I didn't like this, guess what? Here's what else I can do. Just go back and then find something else. If you wanted to do a premium mockup, right, this is where it actually shows your product in an actual environment. So notice how if someone is reading or looking at this on their iPhone, there it is. I could have the cover image actually already in there. Or this one right here. This is a pretty fun one. I don't have premium, so I don't know if it's actually gonna give me the opportunity to show you. Nope, I have to upgrade. But that gives you an idea of other things that you can do. So for those of you that are just tuning in, we're talking about all the different ways that you could take your live stream and turn it into a lead magnet. I've already shown you on how you could turn it into an ebook. We've talked about now how you can make a 3D cover image that you could use on your landing pages, in your emails, and all of the things, okay? You're learning, and I love that you're learning. Here's what else you can do is that if you want to open the PDF in a flipbook, this is what I was talking about earlier. When I was designing a landing page for the Lights Camera Live masterclass, I wanted to show my students what they would get in the Swipe the Script vault, right? And so it was kind of like a preview. And so in here, they could just kind of see what was happening. And they could just go through the pages. Obviously, some parts would be blurred out if you're going to be selling this as a part of your course, right? But that's an opportunity. In fact, let me show you how this actually works into play. So lightscameralive.com / and I'll scroll down. All right. We're going to go through this really, really fast. Okay. So this right here, Angie says, I love the sound effect of the turning page. Yeah, I think that's really going to capture someone's attention when they're hanging out on your landing page, right? They're like, oh, what is that? Like just the turning of that page. So over here, I had an example for my students called Swipe the Script Vault. And from here, they could actually go in and feel as if they were flipping through the content. Okay, so I'm giving you ideas. I want you to take your content and make it much more exciting in 2021. Okay, so let me close this, go back over here. So we've talked about the 3D cover generator. We've talked about the flip in the book. You could also create an embed, which is basically what you just saw. So this right here is an embed that I put on my website. It's also something that you could download. And then just upload it however which way that you want to. So you could disable sharing and download and really go from there. Fun, right? Okay. So that's everything as far as how is this going to work. Frank is asking, could you use this as a brochure? Frank, absolutely. I think that if you already had, let's say, your copywriter, put everything together in a Google Doc or into a Microsoft Word doc, again, you just import it in. So let's say, for example, I'm just going to take this link right here. Oh, and PS, by the way, if you want to check out designer.io, I already put, let me give you an overlay real quick. We'll type this in here for you. We'll say new text overlay, and I'll give you the link. So it's lightscamera.live/ebook. And that should take you where you can learn more about designer.io. And I'll just bring this over here. That way you can see it. All right, so Frank was asking, can you use this as a brochure? Well, Frank, let's go ahead and take a look, right? Let's go ahead and just start from a template and see what kind of categories are available. So we're going to choose under here. Maybe it's like, do you want your brochure to be standard, 2 columns, all of the different designs? But just by going here, I want to see if I could just type in brochure. That's brown. It doesn't necessarily say brochure, Frank, but if you already have the copy, right, it will automatically format it for you. Even if you wanted to go in here and swap out the images, I'm sure you could do that as well and make it really easy. Like you can pull an image from Unsplash or from Pexels, wherever you get your images from, and have at it. So for example, I would probably use this one right here where it says Learning Analytics. I think this would actually be perfect. Let me make this bigger for you. I think this would be perfect for anyone that is doing an online course. Hey, you want to learn more about real estate or investing in 2021? Let's go ahead and learn. We have a community for you. Okay, so you'll have your cover page, your table of contents. Usually after this, I like to have like a disclaimer that says, hey, this is copyrighted material. Even though it's an ebook, it's still intellectual property that my company owns. Okay. That's definitely something that I would have in there. So that gives you an idea of like what the colors are going to be. You could change the colors if you wanted to. Just give yourself more time to do that. You can create your templates, right, Frank? So if you wanted to have brochures for different seasonalities, then you could do that as well. Great. What other questions do you have? Because right now we're just looking at the templates that are already provided in Designer for you. Okay, here's a good one for mindset. So for any coaches that are out there, transcendental meditation, that's a good one. Awareness, finding your center, all the things. Video content creators, look, you could find this. Frank is also saying that this would also be good for a case study. Absolutely. If you have case studies for specific verticals, specific niches, you can have that still live on your website, right? So if you're also giving away a white paper, what are the video marketing trends in 2021 that content creators should be looking out for, right? Take it out of the scrolling experience, give it to your client as something that they could actually download, read on their Kindle, right? Where they can make highlights and import those notes and so on. Okay, all of the fun things. All right, so backlinks, SEO, it looks there are tons and tons of different looks and feels that you can have here, and it makes it really exciting for you on how you can repurpose your content. So start thinking about it. Now, again, for those of you that are just tuning in, we just talked about designer.io, which is an easy way for you to create an ebook and lead magnets to reach more people. We've talked about how you could take content from Microsoft Word, Pages, blog post, all of the things, and it'll work out just perfectly. Joe Floyd is saying he's going to try this for converting YouTube interviews into blog posts today. Yes. Here's the thing though, Joe, is that if you do that, there is a pricing plan in here where it will do the transcription for you. So if I remember correctly, might be on this side. Oops. Let me move this. I think they still have transcription. Yes. Okay, so Joe, on the premium plan, they get 4 hours of transcription. Now, since I already use Descript for my transcriptions, I don't really need to use Designer, right? Because in my workflow, and you guys should write this down, in my workflow, when we're repurposing our content, we take the video recording itself. So I could take it from Restream, I add it into Descript. Again, that's episode number 1 on how to use Descript. Transcribe the videos. My VA will go in there and edit the content the way that it needs to be. She'll also go in there and transcribe it into like 5 social media videos, 1-minute videos that I could repurpose into my content strategy. Okay. Because, Joe, that content is already edited and already fine-tuned, then my team will go ahead and turn it into a blog post, which is what you already see on lightscameralive.com. It has the images, the headlines, all of the things. I would rather have it already formatted into like a Google Doc or into the website itself, because then again, I just take that website link, drop it into Designer, and then we're good to go, right? So if you haven't seen that already, you can always go back to the channel. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're on my page, there's a playlist called Digital Confetti, and it walks you through our entire repurposing strategy. And again, this is all free. So whether you're watching live or whether you're watching on the replay, this is really going to help you out as far as repurposing your content. So Joe, do whatever it is that you want to do. I think for me, I signed up for Pro, $39 a month. I'm the type of person where I usually just pay everything up front. And so boom, it's there. It's 200 project templates, right? 200 and more cover designs, 922 Google fonts, 3D cover image tool, create unlimited ebooks, copyright free of the images, page numbering, table of contents, export to Kindle into iBooks or EPUB. So many possibilities. This is going to give you that opportunity to really, really grow your audience across all channels and through all different learners. So what other questions do you have? I would love to answer them because we're about to wrap up. And so while you are thinking about your questions and you have my attention, let's go ahead and give a little shout out to the Restream crew for supporting the show. Your bridge to live streaming across all platforms has arrived. Restream takes care of the bandwidth and processing so you can focus on getting maximum visibility on your favorite platforms. To learn more, head on over to restream.io. Yes, and so if you haven't heard of Restream, Restream is the wonderful sponsor for Digital Confetti, and it's one of the best ways for you to go live on multiple platforms. So Digital Confetti is live not only on Facebook, but we're live on LinkedIn and on Twitter and on YouTube and all of the channels. And today we're talking about how you can turn your live streams into lead magnets. And the tool that I've been sharing with you all day today is called designer.io. It's absolutely amazing. It will show you how you could turn all of that, all of your content, into powerful lead magnets all across the internet. And so having said that, if there are any other questions, go ahead and drop them now. And with that said, I just want to say, like, as you're typing out your questions, Happy New Year, everyone. I hope that you are learning so much, that your future is bright, and that you've already checked out lightscameralive.com, because like I said, this is where we have all of the content, all of the recaps. For those of you that said, I need to go back and watch this, go under resources. That's where you're going to find how to repurpose your content using GIFs, live video structure, how to be educational, entertaining, and inspirational. That is actually from a talk that my good friend Owen Video did for the Leap into Live Streaming. We also talk about how to use live streaming at every stage of your digital marketing strategy. But for those of you that are just jumping in and watching Digital Confetti for the very, very, very first time, this is where we talk about how to use Descript to repurpose your live stream. This is episode number 1. Okay, and this is the foundation, the bedrock for how we actually repurpose our content for both of our shows, Lights, Camera, Live, and Digital Confetti. All of that content is here and ready for you. All right, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm just going to hop over into Facebook again because I'm wondering if the Facebook comments are just are not coming through, and I don't want to act as if I'm ignoring all of you. Cool. All right, great. So if you have any other questions, go ahead and let me know. Thank you everyone for tuning into Digital Confetti. Have a happy New Year. Thanks so much, everyone. All right.